This satellite view shows the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, a critical physical intersection separating the Red Sea from the Gulf of Aden. Looking closer at this narrow passage, you are seeing the primary artery for roughly 60% of all global trade. Everything from consumer goods to the energy grid relies on ships moving through this exact corridor. Now, Yemen's Houthi rebels have declared a strict maritime blockade right across this water. Their specific targets are ships headed to or from Saudi Arabia. If a Saudi vessel refuses to halt, the Houthis have made it clear they will act. They're deploying military drones, firing missiles, and dropping armed troops directly onto moving decks from helicopters. This cuts deep into the Saudi economy. 30% of their crude oil and 40% of their total commercial trade rely completely on tankers traversing this exact route. Saudi Arabia faces the direct economic hit, but the geopolitical panic has shifted focus toward a different capital, Islamabad, Pakistan. The trigger for this blockade was pulled by Saudi Arabia itself. Without warning, Saudi forces launched a direct airstrike on the Houthi-controlled Sanaa International Airport. The Shia Houthis responded by mobilizing their tribal factions for a massive escalation. Armed heavily by Iran, they possess an arsenal of large-scale missiles and drone technology fully capable of sustaining a long conflict. To see how dangerous this is for Saudi Arabia, we have to look at the map. To the east, the Strait of Hormuz serves as a primary exit route. However, Iranian forces heavily restrict this passage, making it a high-risk zone for Saudi shipments. That left the western route as their main alternative. By dropping a blockade on the Bab el-Mandeb, the Houthis have closed that final door. The entire Saudi oil supply chain is now boxed in on both sides. The Houthis have engineered a geographic trap that actively suffocates the daily operations of the world's leading oil exporter. With both major sea gates effectively closed, Saudi Arabia's options for moving oil have essentially vanished, making a direct military response to break the blockade look increasingly inevitable. This is exactly where Pakistan gets dragged in. Just a few months ago, Saudi Arabia and Pakistan signed a comprehensive mutual defense agreement. The terms of this pact are strict. If Houthi forces strike back against Saudi soil during this conflict, Pakistan is legally required to deploy its own military to protect the Saudi kingdom. A local territorial dispute in Yemen has now armed a geopolitical tripwire, automatically locking a nuclear-armed South Asian military into a rapidly expanding Middle Eastern conflict. Pakistan is in no condition to fight a foreign war. Internally, the state is dealing with severe instability, facing near-constant rebel attacks on military bases and police strongholds in Balochistan and KPK. At the same time, massive civilian protests are escalating across Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Sending the army abroad right now would strip the country of the security forces it relies on to keep the nation from fracturing entirely. Deploying forces against the Houthis also brings a massive external threat. Because the Houthis act in lockstep with Iran, Pakistan fighting in Yemen means effectively declaring war on a powerful neighbor right on their own border. This single airstrike has trapped Pakistan in a catch-22. They are caught between joining a war that could ignite their own borders or abandoning a strategic alliance that keeps their economy functioning. With the blockade now active and tensions peaked, the coming days represent a critical window that will redefine Pakistan's future.